So here in the altar, I've got some stories going on. I'll share with you quickly about them. I said to you, I'm putting this red one here to honor our blood and the reality of the bloodlines and the work that our blood does to carry life force through our bodies, the blood of the earth, the plasmic frequencies, the blood that moves and actually creates the universe, creates the sound of our lives, this movement, that sound going out into the reality, when it comes back to us in the mirror of our lives. So I'm putting that right here in the middle. It's tied in a circle. And why I'm not undoing that knot right now is because for me, in the beginning of my walk, when I was starting to listen to the voice inside me, and not just the voices outside me all the time, then I was separating myself a lot from my family because I saw that it was difficult to fit there. And then I came through many stories, which we won't talk about now, and to a place where I decided actually I don't want to separate from anything anymore. It's time to put together. So there's no way I'm going to separate myself from my ancestors. I can't kill them. From those things that are inside my blood, I can heal them, I can train them, I can make the choices that make those patterns that I've received from my blood, from my family, from my ancestors, that informed this body, from all of the sperm and the eggs that came together over hundreds and thousands of years to create this body. I can work in various different ways to open up those communication lines so that the spirit can flow through them, so that my will can flow through them, my high will, my I am presence, and I can be inside this body fully. So when I stopped separating myself, and it's been like, still, me, I'm not mastered yet. Still have to watch out for that. It's a constant, very gentle hunting process. Then the communication lines, they started opening. So it doesn't mean that my family agrees with me, but it also doesn't mean that I need to be at war with them. So I'm honoring that knot. I'm leaving it there. It's a big knot. It's not a granny knot. It's an Isis knot. Okay. Then over here, this is a bone from a cow that has been passed to me by my friend Vaughan. After the fire dance, he picked it up in Swaziland. This is a tool. It's a sacred tool that brings the medicine of the cow, very nicely and strongly to beat the heartbeat. She likes to sing with me when I'm drumming, playing the drum. She's also working with that one sometimes whenever it calls. The medicine of the cow is magnificent, really magnificent. She's a nurturing being, and she carries us when we need to. And she's got this wonderful communication with the stars, very much inside with the earth. Yeah. I've put Bumamhlope here. This is Bumamhlope. It's the one that says yes to the big white light. So it's standing up like this, like a unicorn's horn today, opening up to receive and transmit and translate diamond light frequencies from the divine, from within us and from in this circle. I've put some water here to honor the water within everything, and also our water families. I call it like that, the blood family and the water family. Those ones that we walk along our path and we see them and we know them because they're our sisters and our brothers. Yeah. Because connections between everything. I'm putting these ones here. These are the wings of Adam's calendar. That's what I call them, the wings of Inkanye, you see. These are stones from the singing stones in Mpumalanga, that sacred site, that ancient place that's part of my home as well, on this planet. And so I'm opening them up to communicate the medicines of our songs and our prayers here with the stones, that we can sing together with them, because the stones love it when we sing with them. And it's bringing healing to the whole of everything. These ones are talking of everything. just as we can when we work together with everything. They amplify us as well. There's more about that too. This one here is the medicine from a tree that is very good in opening communications. This one here is the medicine from my ancestral lineages, from the Sangoma lineages that I'm part of, and it's bringing inside the frequencies of safety, the feeling of being held and safe, being part of a family that celebrates you in all of your poesy and in all of your tool and in all of your everything that you bring, that's carrying the ancient mysteries through long times, and is coming inside with the rainbow spirit frequencies. So I'm putting that one there in an open embrace. I've opened the latch, what's it called, that one, where they join together. I've opened the latch to embrace and join us in the space with the ancient mystery schools of Sangoma. So we're working here, walked the long path all the way down from the top of Africa there over a long, long time. So we give thanks for this. Now the time returns for the Rainbow Nation to shine. Hallelujah. Yes. So I've got also sitting here this little crystal skull. He's a very nice guy, this one, a dreaming one. He's coming to assist us. It's very wonderful to work with the crystal skulls. They take things next level. If you have a calling to work with the crystal skulls, I suggest you don't look them up online. You just invite them to work with you and then observe your meditations and get to know them personally before you do the research. I really I invite that. It's a good idea. I've got this grandmother shell here. It's one that we can hear the ocean inside. The ocean that refuses no river. No matter how dirty or clean, no matter how big or small, no matter whether that river comes from underneath the ground or in the sky, she says yes to it all. She keeps saying yes, and then she cleans herself. She's a little overwhelmed right now, which is why ixCacao has returned. And that's what I came here to speak about. And then, here's a frog. We know about frogs. And the frogs like to sing, cleans the space. They like to make music as well with their beats, and they like to live in the water and on the ground, and even sometimes inside the ground. They like to live in the trees sometimes. Magnificent beings connected with the stars and the earth beautifully. Sensitive ones. The bowl. We can talk so much about all these things. Here's Cacao, and here's the white clay that I put on my face. Is there anything else? Oh, and of course, what came lying down underneath all of this stuff? This one is, in fact, it is a sari from India that is worn in weddings by the bride. This is really a statement of trust in sacred union within. Trust of the feminine within each one of us. The feminine trusting and saying yes, I will open my heart to you. Yeah? Holding hands. Okay. Hallelujah. Thank you for asking me that question. It's a good one. Okay. Are there any more questions before we go forward?
Who else is with you?
I think that's another talk. Right now my son is here with me, Niku. He's sitting outside, he's 18 years old. And Renee came with me. She's my friend from Australia, the weaver. We're doing a collaboration soon. We've been playing on Facebook Live today, talking about our retreat that's coming up. And you guys are all with me, that's for sure. And ixCacao. Yeah. And then, you know, the rest is a big story. Yeah. That's a good one. I'd like to tell that story to you someday. Is that okay for you?
Yes.
Thank you. we're making the practice of saying only what is most important right now.
This is a difficult practice.
Okay.
I have a question for now.
Okay.
Why are we so afraid to act when we know our lives are in danger?
For me, this comes back again to trust. Trusting ourselves. You know, like, where does that feeling of knowing your life is in danger come from? From what part of you? How do you know that your life is in danger?
Good question.
So a friend of mine named Mariah and her team, she's got a team as well. I will say they said to me, they gave me a very good tool which I can share with you right now, and it goes like this. It goes, hello my heart, how are you doing? Is there anything you'd like me to do for you right now? How can I perceive? And to make her aware, for me my practice now is to repeatedly make my way to the center of my heart, that place where the four chambers meet and everything spins around it. The physical heart. There it's silent. There lives trust. There. That one that lives inside everything, that place. Pure potential, unconditional love. Yeah, Marcos! So I have to also say that since I've become Sangoma, then sometimes I make really strange noises. So if I make really strange noises, then we would say it's ancestors. Okay? So the voices are open. I'm going to invite you to also join me now to open up your voices and make some sound. Joining together with all of the sounds of the universe that we're hearing here and everything. We don't need to leave anything out. To call your voice into the space, to sing your sound. You don't need to feel like you're following anybody else in this process. But if you want to, you can, of course. You can follow someone else's tune. The universe is free. Okay. It's going to go jumping right over. Savor like the moon. Good birds. So when I serve cacao ceremony, and this is one of the teachings also of ixCacao, I like to invite people to open their voices. Doesn't have to be now, but that is the general invitation. You know that the voice, when we were in the womb of our mother, our human mother, then the heart was the first thing that was made, right? And it started to make a sound, the universe I am. The very next thing that was formed from out of that heart was our tongues. Time for us to open our voices. It doesn't mean we have to make a sound. We do get confused about that sometimes. We are making a sound all the time. Ne? It travels along our arms through the works that we do. It travels down our bodies through along our feet where we're walking on the earth. There she is feeling our heartbeat. We are one. It's time for us to open our voices. 1, 2, 3. So at any time during ceremony, even if I'm speaking, if you feel some sound coming, you feel it coming from that place in the center of your heart where all is silent, then I'm inviting you, and in fact I'm asking you to be responsible and to let it come out. Okay? Writing some paper now. Yo! Where's my book? Hey! Sure. Pass this around the space. If you want to take some paper into your field. And I'm going to pray while we pass it around. I'm going to pakla, seen as I'm an African woman, South African woman. And yes, I'm woman. I'm welcome to clap with me if you like. It's an extension of the heartbeat. Macros! Yeah. Let it go. Let it go. Together in a circle here with the people of Cacao, and I'm welcoming into the space the spirit of ixCacao, welcoming into the space ixCacao and actuality, welcoming into the space all of our ancestors and any beings of love and light who wish to be here with us today. We're welcoming into the space our guardians and guides, speaking to the angels and animals of this space, and wanting you to sing together with us, speaking to Table Mountain and the high mountain crystals all around here, even around the whole world. We're inviting you to sing together with us in Paniers, sing together with us all through the light of the Gaia here as we're sitting, to bring the healing to the tree, to bring the healing to our hearts, to bring the healing through us, to us, and help us to remember what it is to be true, what it is to be God. Hallelujah. Open up our ears, our ears, our ears, our ears, the heart, the seeing of the heart, the speaking and breathing of the heart, to support, to support all that is for the highest of all. The regular frequency open and shining. Hallelujah. So goes and downward shade. Downward. See. Slowly speaking to all of the creation of calling together the universe inside this place. I'm calling to ixCacao, the spirit of cacao, to come and heal and teach in this place. Open up your voice. Open up your voice within me. Open up your voice through the mirror that I am, through every voice that is here, to bring what it is that you'd like to share at this time. I'm inviting the frequencies of the spices to join and sing and rattle and shake your medicine, shake your goodies and dance together with us in this conversation that we are having. I'm inviting all of my team and hey, Laura, Noera, ixCacao, Laura, Madrawashka, Zontabaco, Marcos, Maros, and Nipsat, we're welcoming you to enter into the space and work together with me and with us as we join hands and hearts and grace and open up and further this conversation for the highest good of all. I'm inviting the Christ light frequencies that live within each one of us to sing and sound and bless us with presence. I'm inviting the Mother Earth to raise up your energy now, that we can feel you within us. As we drop our roots deeply into your golden body, your golden liquid body, sitting like lotuses, open to the stars and the starry sky, the skies above, and inviting the breath of spirit to flow through us as we are like trees, beautiful flowering trees, opening up our medicine and opening up the medicine of this space for the highest good of all. According to the keepers of north, south, east and west, to hold the cage strong, that only those things that are for the highest good of all can be present here, and of course. Hallelujah. Goes and goes shade. Yeah. You can continue to ask the question whenever it arises. This is a conversation, not a presentation. Okay?
You trained in the jungle, so why did you choose ixCacao?
Hey, it wasn't me who chose her, it was her who chose me. That's a good question. Yeah, you know. If you've got a calling, you've got a calling. The job is to listen and follow. I didn't choose ixCacao. I didn't even know that she was a teacher plant when she first presented herself to me. In fact, I didn't even know she was called Cacao. And I never heard of ish either. Wake up! Wake up, wake up, wake up! ixCacao loves Don Tobacco. They get on real fun. They don't fight at all.
How might you recognise the spirit of ixCacao?
It comes inside of that place where the heart is shining. Cacao, she's alive all over the world actually. Do you know that it is true that cacao, chocolate, is the one taste that nobody has been able to figure out how to synthesize? So every single chocolate, milkshake, or chocolate bar, or chocolate cereal started from cacao. There's a lot of change that happened in that time, just like in all of the ancient mystery schools on the planet that come from the source place. There in ancient Egypt. Lots of changes happened, but she is still there. It's just to open the heart. Yeah. It's just inside the heart that is shining. There you will find ixCacao. That heart that is not making separation, that is bringing together, there you will find ixCacao. That heart that knows how to forgive, there we find ixCacao. It's fine about saying sorry. That heart that isn't stuck inside with any kind of fanatical what, that likes to play and be creative and flexible, there we find ixCacao. Yeah, that heart that likes to make a noise and be quiet. There we find ixCacao. That heart that lives inside each one of us. So the medicine of chocolate. Okay, so there was a prophecy. It's an ancient prophecy. It is about now that it has come. Now in these times. Even now also. It says that when man has forgotten how to look after the tree, ixCacao will return. That tree, it talks about the tree of life. It talks about the tree of the body. It talks about the trees that are growing in the garden, in the forest. It talks about the trees of our lineages, of our ancestors, of the lineages that are in place because of initiation. That's a very real thing. It's not just a thing, it's a real thing. These are trees. This is, yeah. So this is a cacao seed. It's been fermented because you've probably seen them before. They're all over the place these days in health shops, and even you can get them in Pick and Pay here in South Africa, where really places Soaring Free Superfoods is really. It was also cacao, ixCacao, that told those guys who made Soaring Free Superfoods to make their business. Did you know that? Yeah. They heard the call same time as me in 2004. They were in London, they met cacao. They were like, wow. ixCacao took their hand and they went on a journey all around the planet finding the good superfoods in the happy, healthy environments where the people were happy and healthy and strong. And everybody was working in harmony together. That's the places that the superfoods come from, that we are blessed to have in our shops. Same time, I was hearing the call from Cacao as well. I was working with some other teacher plants to serve my family, to prepare them, bring them the food, my family. So I was mixing the mushrooms inside with the chocolate. Those days we only had raw cooking chocolate, not raw, dark one, dark cooking chocolate. We didn't have any raw chocolate in this country. Then there comes the songs and the prayers, and all the spices start to talk to me in the kitchen. And then I said, when I go to the jungle, I'm not going to find me any other shaman other than a cacao shaman, because I know they exist. It's that one. The cacao. So all chocolate comes from these. It's also being used as currency. You know about that? That's interesting. Even that word, currency. Yeah, the current seed. Again, talking about flow and communication lines, the sea, the ocean, it receives the rivers, it receives the waters, it has salt inside, salt likes to clean. When we want to open the communication lines within our own trees, within our own beings, we often need to clean them. We are blessed to be born here in South Africa, as a part of Africa, Mother Africa, because here the medicine people remember well how to do that cleaning. It's not only inside with detoxing the body, because this body has got ancestors and souls inside. That's all what I am, and all of those ancestors that made this body over hundreds and thousands of years. Some of them are really strange looking, the old ones. They look very different to me right now, the ones that I've seen. Yeah. And as it is, when we step outside of time, which is a reality that we know exists, and quantum physics is now proving it, which is wonderful, then all of those ancestors and all of those parts of my soul are all alive right now. It is the universe that beats through this heart. Our ancestors are not all the same soul as I am. So when I'm opening those communication lines, I'm opening them across space and time. This is also called healing the truth. When we work with our ancestors as well, in opening those communication lines, when we detox our lineages, not just the close ones, but all the way until the beginning. Hey, we're doing it across space and time. It's a great service to the earth. We're assisting many other souls. We work as a community. There we come again to ixCacao. It's a community truth. It's the Ubuntu, isn't it? One hand washes the other hand. Yeah. So. Huh?
And to repeat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
To a shortcut to some of our families.
Yeah. It's a great service. When we engage in our own ancestral healing, which allows the soul to heal very much easier as well, because the ancestral part is inside with physicality in a very big way. You know? And then it really does assist the future generations, because we shift our DNA. Yeah.
I mean, they don't have to carry the things like,
Yeah.
they've got little stories or...
Yeah, it's a great assistance. And now we're talking more about Sangoma stuff as well. But also it is the work of ixCacao.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, why did you say chewy? because you can. I'm going to invite you to make some sound with your voice. The easy one when you're busy chewing is to hum. This is a really useful sound. You know, this is the sound that's following the wisdom from Tibet, and the Tibetan rainbow meditation is where mind and matter meet. It's the sound where two becomes one.
What is the direction?
The direction, two.
This direction?
Yeah,
And what's direction?
there is no direction, just
I
is
didn't. Thank you.
consciousness. Yeah, good job. Do you remember all the rest? So cool.
I'm not being seen.
Hallelujah.
Thank you.
So cool. Yeah. While you're sitting there, then I'm inviting you to also drop down your roots with your imagination. Drop down an anchor cable from your hara all the way into the center of the earth, the crystalline center, and wrap it around the beautiful big crystal there. And reach up your branches, open up your petals. Allow yourself to become like a tree with your imagination. Breathing from above and below through your roots and through your branches, your shoots. Allowing yourself the space to breathe deeply into your heart and then sounding with it. Sending the I love you, thank you, up and down to the earth, to the sky, and receiving it back again, waiting to receive it on the in-breath.
thank you, thank you, thank you. I love you, I love you.
It's not such a different story from the story of the Christ in many ways. They said that the Christ of frequency would return to this planet. It returns through each one of us. It is very much aligned with the rising of the sacred feminine within each one of us. The golden creation frequencies, the diamond light frequencies. That part of us that embraces the darkness and continues to open our yes, just like the letter Y. The capital letter Y, with that part in the ground. Well written. Open our yes. More and more and more.
Yes, you are.
Hey, so many names, so many faces. Yeshua. Totally. I like that sound, you know. Even if you draw it like this. And then there's many of them, and they go like this. And they each have got their own containment. And they each have got space for the masculine and the feminine to walk equal side by side, like that. You know? The Tibetans put it inside that dark void here, this one, the third eye. It is the one that is born of two, isn't it? The child. The I am. I. Ne? That's why I said it's the two that becomes one. It is the two that is one. These bodies. They call it the element of the mind. And the mind and matter. Very good sound. So the return of ixCacao prophesied is also the return of the sacred feminine. It is also the return of the Christ of light frequencies. And it doesn't only live in cacao. We mustn't make the illusion of that. Just like Yeshua, which possibly he knows about it, you know, like the way that the people put everything onto his shoulders and said, "You are it," when all he was saying is, "You are it." Yeah, it is inside you. Yeah, it's the same with cacao. Hey, she comes around again. Good vibes. Even sun here. It's coming again. Ready or not, here I am. Roundabout, roundabout, roundabout now. Cacao! Cacao! So it's not about worship, it's about devotion. This is a frequency that flows very high. It's inside of the diamond light.
And don't you find it hard, like, to live in the 3D reality?
Don't I find it hard to live in this 3D reality?
I mean, the frequency that we're like having every day around.
For me, I was very clever because I chose a body which is not like hypersensitive to 3G and things like that. It wasn't part of what I came here to learn. So I haven't got that experience. I've been saying for a long time I've got thick skin. But I've also been realizing, and the more I walk along and the more I open my ears and the more I enter into the chamber of forgiveness and love and acceptance and devotion, the more I realize that I'm a lot more sensitive than I thought I was. And I hide things from myself sometimes. I carry things that I don't even realize I'm carrying. I can say, in my own story, since I have taken my calling, and my calling does include becoming a Sangoma. That's why I was born here, because that mystery school is still alive and well here. I have found it easier in many ways, because now there's a space for my crazy. Certainly all of the African people who have got the dark skin, they get it. And that's the majority in these lands. So that's a great blessing for me. It has made it easier for me to take off the mask. Before I wore a mask a lot, literally. I'm a blue-nosed clown. The first calling I had was to become a troubadour, to paint my face so that I could be free. When we have a painted face, people think we are playing. We can get away with a lot. This is also the medicine of ixCacao. So good. Yeah.
What is a blue-nosed clown?
It's a clown with a blue nose.
Blue is considered bad luck for clowns. The color blue is considered bad luck for clowns.
Yeah, I'm not one of those clowns. Yeah, I didn't ever study the clowns. What happened one day, I was called, I was dancing in the shadows, then they said, you're a stilt walker, I can see that, what, that story is another story also. It comes inside of my names. It's about me, but that's not what I'm here to talk about. When I found myself sitting in front of the mirror with the face paints for the first time, and I painted my face, what I saw emerging in front of me, now at this time I was deep inside with the dreaming. It was when I was 21. People thought I was crazy. Africa understands that stuff. I painted a white face, with geisha lips, and little cheeks, and a blue nose. And for 7 years, as long as my face was painted, I couldn't speak a word of English.
What did you speak?
So like some star language. Gobbledygook, I called it gobbledygook. Yeah. It comes inside with the blue body. It comes inside with communication with the voice. I've always been a blue-nosed clown.
Thank you. How much time did you spend as a blue-nosed clown?
I'm still a blue-nosed clown. So that was when I was 21. 2 days later, then the Sangoma called me and I said, oh no, I'll be back. I've got to go with them first. That's where my heart song is calling me. And that took 20 years for me to come back to Sangoma. And so inside that time I worked as, and still now I work as a blue-nosed clown whenever I'm called.
What work does a blue-nosed clown do?
Play with the people. Our job as troubadour, in fact, I read in this wonderful book, it's called The Book of Love. It's a book about Maria Magdalena and the lineages of the Yeshua and Magdalena. It's one of the stories. There are many stories of the Magdalena and that whole story, the Magdalenes. then in there, then they put the definition of the word troubadour. It's Italian, that word. And they said it means the ones who call forth, harvest, the golden frequencies of joy and love and fun inside the field of life, the fields of life. And shares it with the people. So it's a calling. We play with the people. Yeah. And all clowns, all real clowns have got lots of skills. We work however we can. We use every opportunity, even the ribbon that has got a knot tied in it. Yeah. Mm. Of course. And so always remember to drink a lot of water when you're working with Cacao, because she's a cleaner. And when we drink lots of water, then it makes the cleaning process easier. Of course.
How much of the spirit of ixCacao is left in a regular bar of chocolate that you can buy in shop?
As much as you sing it. I can say that to you truly. Like I said before, if you need training, get it. It's going to help. You know, if you need to heal your ancestors, if you need to write your patterning, follow your feet to find the person who can assist you. Because we exist. There's no reason to struggle. I'm not going to say that it's not hard and that you're not going to suffer. You know, like in the training of the Sangoma, we walk on our knees. My knees, they were bleeding. They became strong like the elephants. We walk with bare feet. And until we find the beauty way, we stand on top of thorns. We run through them. It's warrior training. Yeah, the stronger you can sing it. Cacao is not a teacher plant that, although I have my grandmother's silver spoon, I like to use it when I'm making bread pebbles and putting the other superfoods inside of the cacao, because it's nice, it's from my grandmother. And silver, I like it, it's like the moon. It shines the golden light when we shine the golden light on it. Yeah, this is a teacher plant that holds our hand. We call it the sacred handmaiden. Cacao cannot and will not take the steps for you. And she doesn't take you out of this present time moment. Unless you want to go out, so then you journey into the place between times, and where the timelines meet. And follow your feet to where it is you want to listen to the story of the one who is coming to tell you a story. So we can know ourselves better. True self, yeah. But she doesn't do that unless you ask and you want to. We have to take the steps. So the more that we open the communication lines in our bodies, which are more than the physicality, but it's very challenging to open them without working with the physicality as well, because we are living inside physicality. The soul is living inside physicality. Yeah? The more we open the communication lines, the more the light of creation is able to flow freely through us, through the works of our hands, through the works of our voices, through our feet that touch the earth. You know those beautiful pictures from in the Indian traditions where the goddess or the god is walking along and flowers pop up everywhere where they walk. It's like that. It can be like that. We are designed to be like that, to become into that place. We are inside a window time now. I learned that from the teachings of Rudolf Steiner. He spoke about a golden window period. That is a preparation time for the coming of the golden age, which according to his timelines are in the straight line is something like 600 years from now, maybe 580 years, because it was a while ago that I heard that. 590 years. So we're inside a golden window now. That's why Cacao is here. She comes whenever we are in a transition period, moving between ages, to assist us to parent ourselves and our children, to co-create and choose a new future, to choose. Yeah? We're inside a window period now. Why we are the Rainbow Nation is it's being named. It's time to act. It's time to dance. It's time to sing. Yeah. And it's these things that happen when it looks like it's just dark everywhere. It's part of the training also, because it brings us into the place of trust. We can choose. Either we feel trust or we feel afraid. I discovered it was wonderful actually. It was when I was working with Cacao one day, and she gave me a teaching about that thing of fear. And she said, fear is another face of love because it gives birth to courage. And super cool. Yeah. It really is all inside us. You know, it does take doing the work. It takes walking the path, putting one foot in front of the other, breathing, doing our internal work, getting the training we need from wherever it comes. The University of Life is a rich school. It's not an easy one on this planet. But we're doing it. Otherwise we wouldn't be here. We can celebrate ourselves. Yeah. Actually, Cacao loves to celebrate. She likes to dance very much. One time then I was asked a question of, is it really okay to send out ceremonial cacao like I do with the prayer petals into the world without the ceremony of holding the holding space? And so I went inside the mystical realms on the journey, and I went to go visit ixCacao, and I said to her, asked this question to her. She said, "Bring me my red lipstick, baby, let's go dance with people." This one is very flexible. Otherwise, how could she help us remember how to heal the tree if she wasn't really flexible? You know, how can we truly embrace all that we are if we don't open our yes and be flexible and be willing to forgive and be willing to birth courage and be willing to look at the good, the bad and the ugly and be willing to play and be willing to make fools of ourselves and to open vulnerability. Yeah. It comes inside with this thing about balancing with power.
I'd like to ask though, I'm just curious, what is the difference between the ceremonial cacao and like the fine powders that you buy, the superfoods in supermarkets and stuff, is there a variation in the two, or how does that work? How does it come into play?
So ceremonial cacao has been prepared in ceremony by one who does that. I call it the cacao cucina because that's what ixCacao said to me. You are cacao cucina, let me done. In some ways, we can say it means the puppet of ixCacao. It also means the kitchen of ixCacao. I found that out many years later in a different language. So that's the difference, that cacao is infused with prayer. It's infused with also different frequencies of spices and whatever it is that that person is working with. And everybody works in a different way. That's also beauty about cacao. There's no strict protocols. I have got one strict protocol, and that is to work only for the highest good of all. That's me. There's no strict recipe. Every spice that we choose to put inside, or every frequency that calls to go inside, is doing a job. The job doesn't stop because it gets put inside a package and sent somewhere. When we prepare medicine, that medicine already knows where it's going.
So who are some of the favorite plant medicine friends of ixCacao?
Aside from the spices. It's interesting because ixChuan, who's the divine consort of ixCacao in the storytelling, and if you look at the old drawings and paintings from the Mayan people, of the god of cacao, he's actually called ixChuan. He was the god of trade and commerce. ixCacao, goddess of fertility and love, and recently she's been given the title of abundance as well. Very cool. Yeah, super cool. Except, nothing, history says that it ends, but actually it doesn't. It continues to grow. All of the stories, we all continue to grow. The unicorn grows wings when she has mastered her heart and becomes a Pegasi unicorn. So, ixChuan, the way you recognize him is that he wears a mushroom hat. They really came to be together in a big way. It's divine ordinance. There wasn't a happy relationship in the beginning, according to the stories, but there's also reasons for that story that come inside with archetypes and teachings. Cacao also works very well hand in hand with marijuana, Santa Maria. She works very well together with washuma. You know what it is?
Yeah.
With madrayahuasca, generally they don't be served together because there can be some fighting between the chemical compounds. It also comes inside with the server and with the receptor, the receiver. In the traditions of the jungles, which I'm not initiated into in this life, but I do work with some of those technologies, so I can speak about them a bit. I diet plants. Don Roberto, my friend and brother, he holds space, he sings me in theatre when I ask him to. The way that the shaman, the medicine, what are they called? Curanderos.
Yeah.
They work, the maestros, is to diet the plants, the spirit of the plant, which involves protocols. It's a sacrifice, same like any kind of initiation process. They're to grow the spirit of the plant inside you. So the maestro, the server who has grown the spirit of the plant inside, has got easier communication with that plant. The plants can listen to one another easier. In me, Madre ayahuasca and ixCacao work together very well, but I don't serve ayahuasca. I've dieted ayahuasca because ixCacao told me to. And sometimes when I'm serving ceremony, then she whispers in my ear, like ayahuasca does. You know, when she does that, she says, "Are you ready?" Then you get your plate, get your water, have a little sip, put your bucket. I love your bucket. And then my voice changes and the people start to cry. And the whatever. So we work together. They work together as a team. You know, it's each kuchina, each shaman, each sangoma, each one of us has got a unique calling to work in a unique way with the medicine that we are. And that includes all of us, our souls and our ancestors. The good thing is when they are working together like a team and not going like, who are these weird people? I don't like that one. The wrong color, wrong shape. I'm not talking to him.
Marker?
Huh?
Marker?
Maka.
Combination with...
Hey, very nice. Yeah, they work very nice together. I call him Lord Maka. I put him inside the cacao petals. Maka mesquite lukuma baobab. In fact, I felt baobab with me as I was coming up bigly strongly. She loves cacao as well. Yeah, ixCacao is embracing. She's now working inside with the lineages of Sangoma. It's very good. It's wonderful. Medicine of the heart. Mm. What else can we share with you?
Does ixCacao like meeting medicine plants from other places in the world?
Cacao is a community tree. This is one planet.
But they were introduced at one point, didn't meet before.
Come out from the stars. But they're part of the earth. Just like us. Actually, that separation is an illusion. The more we wrap our heads around that, the better life will become. The more we retrain our brains to stop thinking and just rather feel and do work of keeping the systems working nicely. Yeah. It really is one story, you know. Okay, so it's very important to learn things if you're going to be working with cacao or any other strong teacher plant or any other medicine, actually, which includes just about everything. Even your relationships, our relationships with one another, to be conscious of what we're doing. And if that means educating yourself about, like you will have seen on the thing that I shared with you guys to prepare for this time now, if you are on antidepressants, please speak to me. Because it's cacao and antidepressants sometimes fight. Because cacao is a very strong serotonin creator. There's tryptophan and dopamine. It's got the bliss chemical and the love chemical inside. There's a lot of feel-good chemicals in there. If you've got a chemical inside your brain, active every day, that's coming from whatever source it's coming from, but especially these ones that are like put in place to fix something, it can fight. It can be too much for the brain. It's very interesting. Some people who are, I mean, I've you know, there's various stories. So there's the story of the person who is working with taking the antidepressant, for example, the scalitium, or the scalitium and cacao also like each other, by the way. Yeah, it's all about dosing. It's about dosing. The person who's working with the St. John's wort every day to help in daily life with depression stuff. And then they come to a cacao ceremony, hit by anxiety big time for 2 weeks. Why? The St. John's wort was like a plaster, not actually doing the work. Then there's the person who's taking St. John's wort every day and is also doing the work. Cacao ceremonies change the life of that person. Maybe don't need to take St. John's wort anymore. Break through that place where the root wasn't able to get into the earth properly, so that depression was coming because there's a feeling of separation. In my experience, mostly that's where depression comes from, the feeling of separation. So grounding well helps beat depression. Sometimes when I do, at times I ground from not only my perineum and soles of my feet, I ground from my tailbone, my nipples, my fingertips, the palms of my hands, this one here, every place what changes direction. I put down roots from everywhere when I need to, especially when we make a consciousness expansion. Integration, grounding is very important. If it's a massive consciousness expansion, like maybe you have been visiting with Mother Ayahuasca, she's a very good surgeon.
Okay.
Loving mother, especially served with the hands and the heart, and the consciousness. It's a good idea to root from every place you can to integrate well, like daily for a few weeks.
Would you physically lie on the ground in the forest or something to get those points touching?
It is nice to do that.
Yeah.
But me, when I do that, I like to stand.
Okay.
Most. But also, we have got the facility of the imagination. So you can be lying down or sitting in an airplane or at your desk and then just imagine yourself to be. We don't have to physically do everything. When we do things physically, it's comes inside with a greater reality. No, we don't have to tune our minds to keep quiet so much. Yeah. It's about mastering the mind is quite a big deal. Yeah. It's not the easy one, that one.
I had a question at some time which I posed on one of the groups where we were talking about this, what's this bark that's in Central Africa, Iboga. So I've asked, I made a comment that I still want to try that, or need to try that. And one of our shaman friends asked me, why do you want to do all medicines? Now in my, I'm not a guru in this. I mean, we only but starting off. Do you have to limit yourself to certain plant medicines, or is it good to go and experience everything?
I think that would have different healing properties.
And to see, what is what in this world of plants and plant medicine and so.
What I can recommend. I can tell you what I do. I listen to my heart. I don't go to eat something until I am told that it's the thing for me to do. Life is not a shopping market. Yeah, it's quite important that we can totally overstimulate ourselves.
Yeah.
The path is actually very well defined because there's only one path for you, and that's your path. It might be that your heart path, your true path, does take you through chum, chum, chum. You know, like when oftentimes people talk about this, and me myself, I have this experience as well, like with books. They come in waves, and they come like a wave of books. Consciousness expands, whoa, like that. And there's book, 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 book. Me at the moment, I've got, how many now? I've got about 5 books next to my bed. I'm reading all of them.
Now, what we experience is, you know, we put it out there that this is an opportunity or another opportunity. This is something that we read about because we like reading about or knowing about, you know, the plant medicine world. But it will never really, what I think now is knowing about it and maybe putting it out there that I would like to do it maybe one day, but opportunity never arrives. So, I mean, I feel that it's not yet the right time to do that. I mean, we are living right next to a very well-known mushroom shaman, but we've never done mushrooms. You know, in ceremonial many years ago, not in ceremonial setup. Didn't know what it was about. It was just something that makes you feel good. But now that we know about it, but you know, it has not yet actually crossed our path. And you know, even with cacao, we've known about it quite a long time ago. We actually read about it first in an article where in London it started coming down where people actually snort the cacao. And that's actually a question, you know, that we can discuss later. You know, I mean, how good is that? I don't know. You know, where they said it's replacing the recreational club drugs in London, where people are now starting to do this, and it's legal.
That came about 4 years ago,
Yeah.
and here we are 4 years
No,
later.
and now only 4 years later it's come across our path to actually come and do this for the first time. And
Hallelujah.
it's how I think it works. And
for me, if I hear your story that lives inside that, what you have spoken of it, it says to me you are doing exactly perfectly right and following your feet. And your feet will take you at exactly the right time to where you need to be.
yeah, that's what we indeed know. It will come when it's
We
when the
put it
time
out
is
to
right.
the universe and we let it be until it sounds right.
Hallelujah. Exactly right. So, hallelujah. It comes inside that place of trust again. Yeah. There really is no separation. That's perfect. Everything that we need to experience is right in front of us. Part of the challenging, one of the challenging parts, especially for those who can see, feel, see in whatever way seeing happens, is to realize that and accept that which we see in front of us, we don't know exactly where it is and exactly what it looks like, to let go and trust and just walk the path rather than try. Yeah, I once read a book many years ago that said that the word tried would be good if we erased it out of the dictionary. Because it implies that we aren't, that we are. It makes sense. Yeah, and here, certainly in South Africa, we are very blessed because we have got amongst us from our own and also visitors who come from afar, many gifted and strong and clear and grounded servers of medicine who visit us and who live amongst us. Of course we do, we're the Rainbow Nation. This land is a Sangoma. All the help that we need is at hand. It's like that everywhere though, not only here. It's just everybody's got a different story, right? Everywhere, all that we need is at hand, so long as we follow our feet. Yeah? So like me, I'm going to follow my feet to go over to Italy now, in May. I'm going there. Because there's a stone there that's called me. So I'm going to go serve cacao. And Renee, she's over here from Australia. She's coming to serve the medicine of the week. We follow our feet. All of us who follow our calling. That's why I'm saying to you, follow your calling. Don't be afraid. Let the courage come through the fear. When you meet it, you will know that it is the one that, it is that which you have been walking towards. Because it comes, it says, there's echoes inside that quiet place, it's singing, the bells start to ring. Okay? You got that experience, yeah? That's also why you're here now.